Hello there and welcome to The One Show, live on BBC One and iPlayer with Anita, Rani
and Alex Jones. And even though parts of the country may have ground to a halt today because of the snow, we are ploughing on with a fun-packed show that celebrates the stars of the small screen. Later, we'll be joined by Sam Heughan and Caitriona Balfe from the award-winning time-travelling series Outlander.
Plus, Michelle Visage, Mark Benton and Alexandra Mardell will be telling us about their brand new comedy called Smoggy Queens, which follows a group of friends who share the highs and lows of life in Middlesbrough.
And we're channeling our inner divas tonight as we meet the fashion designer from Glasgow whose business has gone global as a result of shows like RuPaul's Drag Race UK.
Outfits are amazing. Also, we're turning our attention to the National Lottery, which celebrates its 30th anniversary today. Later, we'll be looking at the impact it's had on many good causes in the UK.
And the messages are already coming in thick and fast for our Outlander guests because there are so many fans
So
out
many.
there.
You've broken the internet, guys.
You really have. Susie says, Al, the best show ever with the best love story ever and the best TV couple ever. Do you think she's a fan? Maybe a bit.
Probably.
So keep them coming in and we'll share more of them later in the show.
But first tonight, we are talking energy. Now, as the pictures you've been sending in for our screen show, the wintry weather is very much here. And with news this week that the cost of energy looks set to rise again in January, it's the perfect time for Nikki Fox and our Watchdog team to go and help some customers in need.
Yes, she's been speaking to two people who absolutely dread the thought of receiving energy bills, but not for the reason you might think.
When it comes to our fuel bills, it seems that in the case of one energy company, we can't always trust the paper they're written on.
The actions of British Gas, one of the UK's largest energy suppliers, are making some people dread the sound of their own letterboxes.
Because the company is pursuing people for money they cannot possibly owe. That's because they're not British Gas customers. British Gas bills started arriving at the Norfolk home of Gary Addison in April.
The letters came through the door, so I sent them back.
Are you with British Gas?
No, I'm not with British Gas. Never been with British Gas.
But then a solicitor's letter sent on behalf of British Gas turned up, addressed to the occupier.
What did the letter say?
Said got an outstanding bill.
How much was the bill for?
12,000.
12,000?
£12,000.
Gary got straight onto the solicitors and British Gas to explain he was with another supplier and this was not his bill. The bills stopped, but in September they were back. And as Gary had disputed the bills previously, in place of the occupier, British Gas had now added his name. But he also spotted something intriguing.
They put my name at the top and then put cedars, maples and birches underneath.
Gary's wife Amanda knew the names of these trees had a connection to the hospital just over a mile away.
She actually said to me, that's a staff accommodation.
So Gary did some detective work.
I took myself to the hospital and there I saw all the staff accommodation blocks were named after trees.
Believing he'd been charged for bills at the staff accommodation, he contacted its management team. To their credit, they told British Gas Gary was not responsible for the bills. But despite their intervention, 7 months after getting the first bill, British Gas is still pursuing Gary for just over £13,500.
How do you feel about this situation?
They've harassed me. They haven't listened to anything that I've explained to them.
I'm sorry about this, that you've had to go through this. I really am.
It shouldn't be you apologising, Nikki. It should be them.
And judging from what viewers have told us, Gary isn't alone.
We've searched our inbox and found a steady stream of complaints from people who have been billed by British Gas despite not being one of its customers, with threats of legal action and debt collection featuring in lots of them.
Sean and his partner Alana from Milton Keynes are also with an energy provider that is not British Gas. But over the past 2 years, that's not stopped the company demanding they pay a bogus bill of just over £5,000.
Sean, how many letters do you reckon you've got from British Gas?
I think easily over 80 letters.
Wow, so is that them there?
This is the stat, yeah.
Among them is a letter from a debt collector warning it could enter the couple's home, if necessary by force, to install a pay-as-you-go meter.
So how did you feel when you got that?
Panicked. Because debt collection, you know, they're big time, so to speak.
Yeah.
And that's when you start worrying, the emotions start running.
Sean thought one easy way to prove he didn't owe any money was to send his meter's serial number to British Gas. If it didn't match the one British Gas were actually billing, then the bills couldn't be right. And when it saw Sean's evidence, British Gas agreed it had got it wrong.
In there, she confirms who our actual supplier is and that it is strictly not British Gas.
But even this has not stopped the bills arriving at his door.
How do you feel about this whole situation?
It feels like harassment. It's just hounding, it's non-stop.
Guidance published by Citizens Advice says that when companies ignore customers who say they don't owe them money, that counts as harassment, which is what both Gary and Sean say they have suffered at the hands of British Gas. We put all of these allegations to British Gas, which said the cases of Sean and Gary related to details not being registered properly by property developers when their houses were built. It added the cases are unconnected and that it's not a wider issue. British Gas agreed it should have put things right sooner and said that since Watchdog got in touch, all issues have been resolved.
British Gas, if you don't stop chasing people for money when they don't owe you a single penny, then ultimately it might be you who pays the price.
Ah, thank you, Nikki. So glad as well that you got to the bottom of it all for Gary and Sean. And Matt will be here tomorrow with Watchdog, looking at how a couple's dream trip to the theatre became a real drama.
Right, let's say hello to our first guest this evening, a couple who love nothing more than a good drama. They're the stars of the hit time-travelling show Outlander, Caitriona Balfe and Sam Heughan. Welcome. Oh, so nice to see you both.
I tell you what, people are very happy that you're here, going by our inbox. It's amazing. Now, Caitriona, people will know you from lots of different stuff, including Belfast with Kenneth Branagh. But this is the thing, isn't it, that people really like going on about. But when you got the part, is it right, you weren't that excited to begin with?
Oh, really?
Oh, so not.
Wow.
I don't know.
Now the truth comes out. I see.
No, I don't know. I was very excited.
Is it that it's just grown, though, as a, you know, as a thing? Because it's huge, isn't it? It's huge in America, it's huge here.
No, I was living in America and I was very broke and very unemployed when I got this job. So I was very excited. But I think we just didn't know what it was. I think I knew it was a bookstore, like a book series. I knew there was a fandom for that. But as to what it was going to relate to in regards to our show, we had no idea. And they were like, oh, so you're going to move to Scotland? So I was like, oh, that'd be cool for a few months, great. And then they were like, it's a year.
And then 11
years later, I'm still there. But yeah.
Yeah, it's so massively successful, such a huge hit with fans, and they really cannot wait for the second part of Series 7. I'm going to read out another message here. It's from Angela, and she says, OMG, I cannot wait. 3 more sleeps until Droughtlander is over.
Finally.
Yes, so Sam, for those who may not be familiar with the show, bring us up to speed with the story so far.
So cast your minds back to Season 7, Part A, and we finished that with Jamie and Claire returning back to Scotland. It's Jamie's ancestral home. Delighted to be here, and I think not just for the characters but also for the fans. Obviously they've been anticipating seeing this and going back to Lallybroch, which is where Jamie was born and raised. And yeah, there's a lot of returning characters, a lot of characters that the fans that love to hate that you'll see, and then there's some big drama. I think Jamie and Claire really face probably one of the biggest tests of their relationship for many seasons, and then the finale as well, which is probably, I think, one of my favourite finales. It's really, really dramatic. So much to look forward to in a short time, a couple of days.
Well, here's a taste of what you can expect from the new episodes.
We've got our wish. We're going home to Scotland. A storm's coming. And not one of this earth, but one of my own making.
Claire, some bad news. It's Jamie.
I would feel it in my heart if his had stopped. Mine would stop too.
So good. It's so lush. It's so delicious.
We were saying it looks like a lovely series to film.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, it's tough.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We film outside in hail, rain or shine.
You saw those pictures today from Scotland and around the UK, you know, where you're filming through January in Scotland, and you've got short days because of the daylight, but also the rain and the wind and the snow. It's pretty tough.
With thermals on underneath.
Oh, I have it down to fine art.
Never.
Marnie, my amazing costumer, she has all the kit. He's always like, no, I'm not putting any of it on, and then he's standing there freezing.
A Highlander,
I'm toasty.
Highlander doesn't wear anything under his kilt, apart from maybe large thermals. But
Now, people will be so excited to see this series, but you've actually done and dusted on the 8th series as well, haven't you? You filmed your final scene as a couple. How did that feel?
Oh God, it was so emotional.
yeah.
I mean, it was an emotional scene anyway, of course, because a lot of them are. But I mean, we've had a couple of wraps. I feel like we had the official one, and then we had our final kind of pickups and that sort of stuff. But our official wrap, we had lots of the executives came. There was lots of the cast came to the studio. It was like the whole studio was full. And we had a 7-minute scene or something.
7.5-minute scene, you know, lots of dialogue. And the dialogue, as Outlander normally these scenes are, they're very dramatic. And a lot of goodbyes in the scene, but then it had this double meaning because we were also saying goodbye.
And I think my face started doing some weird... parts of my face twitched that I didn't know was possible. It was just like, I was just...
It must be so emotional because you live with these characters for so long, like you say, 11 years.
Yeah.
And such a huge success with the audience.
Yes.
There's questions that keep coming in.
Oh, my gosh, we've got loads
Kim
here.
asks, this one's for you, Sam.
right.
Did you get to take home Jamie's boots once season 8 had finished?
I hope none of the execs are watching. Possibly there might be a pair of Jamie's boots standing in the corner.
I think you're owed them by now.
Yes.
I mean, you and Jamie are one now.
I absolutely agree. And it might...
I mean, who else would want to wear your sweaty boots anyway?
It might not be sweaty, I'd say. It smells of Jamie. But I actually have a whole outfit of Jamie, so...
really?
You know, if I ever miss him that much, I could...
Yeah, you can put it on. Or go to auction.
I've got one more question.
There you go, see.
Should we get another question?
Yeah, go on.
Let's go. Kim asks, if you were asked, let's say 5 years from now, to come back and do Outlander Book 10 as a movie, would you do it?
Yeah, I mean, never say never, right? I think if that was wanted, I think we'd always
That's
want
what
to...
the fans want. How can we deny them? But yeah, we'll see.
Heard it here
we'll see.
first.
Yeah.
Nice.
There we go.
There you are. So it's not over until it's over, is it?
Right.
Thank you so much, both. Part 2 of Outlander Season 7 will be available to stream from this Saturday on MGM+.
Now, in just a moment, we'll be talking to the stars of a brand new comedy drama set in Middlesbrough. Here they are, Michelle Visage, Alexandra Mardell and Mark Benton.
But first, can you believe it's 30 years since this happened?
Go! And the first ever national live lottery draw takes place on the BBC, and the first one will be coming out now. It's a green.
The National Lottery, I know, Anna, first launched in 1994, and it faced criticism over the massive jackpots offered, with some people worrying that we'd become a nation of gamblers.
Fast forward 30 years, and whilst your chances of winning may still be slim, they say it's created 7,000 millionaires and £50 billion has gone to good causes. So we went to see how two have benefited.
For the past 30 years, the National Lottery has supported good causes across the UK. One of the first recipients was an ailing brass band in Morecambe. Chair Bernard Vars remembers the moment fondly.
Well, I'm very proud possessor of the very first cheque. I'm going to get it out for you. It's such a treasured possession. £47,566. Well, I was like a kid with a new toy. It was just amazing for us to receive so much money. Enough for us to buy a whole set of instruments, which are still being used today. If you worked out how much it will be today, it would be something like £100,000.
The money enabled the band to continue and help support the next generation of musicians.
This tuba, I believe, is one of the original from the National Lottery. It had a very good life, despite a few dents.
The band is like a family, and it's really nice to have that sense of community, to have this group of like-minded people who are so welcoming. It's just lovely.
As well as funding the arts, the lottery supports conservation efforts to protect wildlife and the environment. It's also helping to bring on the next generation of scientists at the National Space Centre. and is supporting athletes in major competitions like the Olympics. Although these larger events bring the nation together, there has been some criticism that other charities might lose out. But the team who distribute the funds scrutinise all applications.
If people are looking for lottery funding, they come to us and they make a brilliant application that shows how they're benefiting people around the country. And that's quite a competitive process, but we think about that very, very hard to make sure there's a really good spread of places right across the country that we're investing in. I think that more often than not, we get it right.
One of the largest organisations to receive a grant is the Unity Hub, a community group in Birmingham. They received nearly £380,000 that will allow them to put on workshops and classes over the next 5 years. Rashda Butt runs the project.
I had a phone call from our lottery officer to say, are you standing or are you sitting? And I knew straight away when she said that it was going to be good news. The first reaction was just tears, because I know the change that this is going to make in this neighbourhood. Before the Unity Hub, in this neighbourhood there was very little resources. It became so apparent that we need to create a space where people can actually communicate, where people can meet in the same space and can actually have those conversations and then not just be strangers out on the street.
I've noticed that I have built so much confidence, and then I was able to actually set up my own art group. I've learned how to talk in front of a lot of people because I was a very shy person. I'm really thankful for Unity Hub.
I came here at a low place, and basically I've been helped and supported to be where I am. I can say that I'm living my best life.
You know, we know that we need finances to make the building run, for staff to be employed, for resources to be had, to make the difference in people's lives.
Back in Morecambe, the brass band is in full swing. Celebrating 3 decades since it received that much-needed cheque, so that they can continue to bring sunshine to the town.
Oh, we love a brass band.
Why not? It's very Christmassy,
isn't it?
And we can say that now because it's
November-ish. We're bringing a ray of sunshine to our sofa now, just what we need. 3 stars from a brand new comedy series set in Middlesbrough. Let's say hello to Mark Benton, Alexandra Mardell and Michelle Visage.
Hello.
Welcome, you guys.
Thank you.
Welcome. Right, Mark, I'm going to come to you first. The show is called Smoggy Queens.
It is.
What's a smoggy?
Well, a smoggy is someone from Middlesbrough. It started off as a kind of derogatory term because of the works, ICI and British Steel. And we kind of took it back. We took ownership of it, and so we call ourselves Smoggies now.
Now, we've been lucky enough to see a preview. What we can say is not a family sitcom, maybe. Michelle, how would you describe it?
I think you're right. It's not the family-est, but it's really at the heart and at the core of it, it's about love, family, chosen family, and friendship.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Now, Alexandra, we know and love you playing a hairdresser in Corrie, and now you're playing a beauty therapist, Lucinda, in this. What's it like working with these two?
Oh, well, I didn't actually get to work with Michelle, did I? But obviously working with Mark.
And that's brilliant, isn't it? Brilliant.
You know what, watching the first episode, you get a sense that you had an absolute ball making this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did, didn't we? I mean, it was it was about a chosen family, and I think we kind of became a chosen family because we kind of morphed into our characters, really, didn't we?
Yeah, definitely.
And every day was, you know, because some jobs you're like, but every day on that was just the joy, wasn't it?
Yeah, laughing until it hurt.
Yeah.
We're a bit disappointed, Mark, that you've not turned up in drag for us tonight.
Oh.
Well, I offered.
Did you? Did you?
I think we'd all like to do that.
We would. Yes.
I think I liked it slightly too much, I have to say. I loved it. It was great.
I could arrange it for everybody.
Yeah, let's do it. We've got time.
Yes, I love it.
Quick change now.
Yeah, sure.
It looks incredible.
Well, let's have a look at the gang doing some last-minute beauty preparations.
Do any of yous fancy coming for dinner at Manjaro's tomorrow night? I've got a 30% off voucher.
Oh,
yes, please. For that, like.
What about you, Stuart?
I can't.
Care to give us a reason, Stuart?
Well, it's actually my birthday tomorrow, and I usually do something with my grandma.
Why didn't you tell us, Stuart?
Or is it Stuart? The big 4-0?
I'm going to be 23.
Try telling your crows to eat that on.
We didn't see you there, Michelle, because you're not sort of part of the gang in the story. In fact, your character, well, she's not very Michelle Visage, is she?
She's the opposite of me, which is, oh, look at Elaine. Yeah, I was drawn to her because of that. I want to start doing things that people don't expect from me as an actor. So I'm glad that he wrote Elaine and he let me do whatever I want to do with her.
And you are very much an honorary Brit. We love that you're here. We love you. And how did you find working in the North East?
I loved it. I spent my downtime at the arcade in Middlesbrough, so I feel like I'm a local now. I was invited to a pub in Yam. I didn't get to go because my wake-up time, my call time was very early, so I didn't go. But I love it up there. The people are just wonderful and loving and welcoming and kind.
And you're going to have a very special premiere up there as well, Mark, aren't you? But not your usual red carpet situation.
No, it's going to be a pink carpet, I believe. I mean, it's massive for Middlesbrough because we've never had anything like this there before, and the show is really, centred around Middlesbrough. So we're going to do it at Middlesbrough Town Hall. It's going to be lit up pink. It's going to be like almost 1,000 people, pink carpet. So we're so excited, aren't we? We can't wait.
Pretty. Now, today we learned something new, didn't we? We learned, Alexandra, what a parmo is. Would you like to care? Share even?
I will happily share because I got a bit obsessed with parmos.
Do we want to share it, though? Is a parmo something we need in our life?
Everyone needs to have it. Have you ever had one?
What is it?
Oh, so it's like breaded chicken, all deep fried, with bechamel sauce and cheddar cheese on top. That's your traditional one. You can add extra toppings if you want, but it's so good. It's a Middlesbrough delicacy.
Something we'd have in Glasgow,
do they put it in bread? Or
with chips and garlic mayo.
Controversially, I think I'm the only person from Middlesbrough that doesn't like parmo.
Oh,
and I have said that on live TV. I know.
He's changed.
Mark, it's only chicken and cheese.
I
What's
know.
not to
All my
like?
friends, I'm just going to lose all my friends.
He's passed up.
So
Michelle, we can't have you on and not ask you about Drag Race.
Oh,
The
go on,
final is next week. Could you share one of your favourite moments from this series with us?
This series has been really spectacular and really special. These queens are something else. I think everybody's going to agree that this past week, the makeover challenge with Lavoie's dad, Richard, was all of them, to be honest, without singling one out, it was just a special night.
We couldn't believe it earlier on, looking at these photographs. It's amazing.
The father and son at the ends together look incredible.
So talented.
Fantastic.
Right there.
Well, the final of RuPaul's Drag Race UK is next Thursday on BBC Three and iPlayer, and Smoggy Queens will be on straight after at 10:10.
Now, we think you're all going to enjoy this as we're off to Glasgow to meet a fashion designer who's become the go-to person when it comes to making an outfit fit for a queen.
I'm Jamie Grandison. And this strutting drag queen is my alter ego, Blaze. And that is me and my bestie Alana giving people makeovers.
I had to add a bit of pizzazz.
On our TV show, Style Fixers.
With almost a decade of experience working as a drag queen myself, I've saw the drag scene grow and blossom into something much bigger than I ever thought it would be when I first started, especially here in Scotland.
All these fabulous Scottish queens are using up a lot of outfits. And that's created a booming local industry for costume makers.
This is the East End of Glasgow, and hidden away in her Pastel Palace workshop is Gillian.
She makes fabulous costumes and set up Gilly Jean King Designs in 2019. She's dressed me as Blaze, and her work is in demand all over the world.
Hello.
Oh, hi.
Oh, back in my favourite place. Gillian, I've definitely saw a boom in Scottish drag since I started 10 years ago. What made you start?
I worked in a lot of fast fashion places and I wasn't really feeling like the pure creative side, and I just wanted to make the actual clothes and to meet people.
And is drag the majority of your custom now?
I do get to do the odd bridal work, but drag is the main...
It's the drag queens that keep coming back
It's the drag queens that keep coming back and back.
When she started out, there were far fewer drag nights. But the scene got a big boost in 2021.
Most drag queens, as of today, probably started because they were inspired somehow by RuPaul's Drag Race.
The UK's next Drag Race superstar is Lawrence Chaney.
Queen Lawrence Chaney was born in Scotland, and home is still Glasgow.
Lawrence Chaney Winning Drag Race gave like a little bit of a buzz in Scotland specifically. That buzz kind of transpired over into my work as well.
When you started, I don't know if you ever thought your outfits would go further than Glasgow, further than Scotland, but they certainly have. So tell me, where have they went?
I've been sending things to Amsterdam, I've sent things to Vegas, I've sent things to LA, like Gran Canaria. I actually took that one when I delivered it when I was on holiday. Like it's kind of surreal, honestly.
Gillian is now one of several busy Scottish alternative designers. From Aberdonian Ryan Cowie to Dylan Cole's collections for celebrities and drag artists, it's a growing scene. Today, Gillian is working with Miss Peaches, known as the Dancing Queen of Scotland. Gillian's making her an outfit that's disco-inspired, fluorescent and fierce.
I mean, I'm happy to make things bigger, like the bell-bottom of the trousers, bigger, OTT, go for it.
It's so funny seeing Gillian do this with someone else.
So much zip.
I think the pink one.
I just didn't know if it matched very well, that was all.
I'll be moving too quickly for them to see it anyway.
Yeah.
Design decisions made, Gillian now needs to turn them into a look fit for a queen.
I think sometimes people often don't realise the work that goes into patterns and what a pattern piece actually looks like for the clothing that you're wearing. It is a bit nerve-wracking when I'm cutting the fabric. You have to put a lot of faith in the fact that you know what you're doing.
A few days and some hard stitching later, we're ready for the big reveal.
You look gorgeous.
I'm obsessed with this.
You're giving 70s diva fierce.
Gorgeous.
Oh, do you feel like you can do the Miss Peaches and dance the house down in this outfit?
I really feel like I can give everyone the Miss Peaches experience in this outfit to the fullest degree.
Love that.
The drag scene in Scotland is continuing to thrive, with audience numbers on the increase. And behind every queen is a core of collaborators working together as a community. Life's a drag? I wouldn't have it any other way.
Love it.
I want one of those.
You will look great in
Those
it.
jumpsuit pull you right in here.
Excellent. Look, you'd look fabulous. Maybe tomorrow. Love the outfits. Love the creativity.
Yeah,
Thank you to
exactly.
Jamie and the team.
Yes.
Time for some of your messages. One for you, Michelle. Matt says he absolutely loves Michelle on Drag Race and can't wait to watch Smoggy Queens.
Oh, and as we said, people live in Outlander. Fiona says, thank you for the last amazing 10+ years. You've stolen and also broken our hearts, but in a good way.
That's it for tonight. Thank you to our incredible guests.
Angelica and I will be here tomorrow, and joining us will be H. Claire and Lee from Steps and Wolf Hall actor Thomas Brodie Sangster, plus Matt with Watchdog. We'll see you then. Bye-bye. Bye.